Wonderful. Welcome, everybody. It is so great to see so many familiar faces and some new ones too. We are so pleased to have you all here for Michèle Hénot Gasparach's artist talk today on Zoom. My name is Rose Ginocchio, and I'm the executive director of the Leo Marchutz School, for those of you that don't know me. And we are so thrilled that Michèle agreed to be our featured artist of the month this month for April. She is, of course, you all know her already, but she is the best. And we are so thrilled that she has taken the time to put together this presentation for all of us. So I am going to just very briefly introduce Michèle and what we're going to do today. And then I'm going to hand things over to her to give her presentation and show her work. And then we will go from there. So without further ado, let me introduce the wonderful Michèle. Michèle began painting at the age of 9, quickly realizing that her paint by numbers set was too limiting for her, and she really wanted the freedom to choose her own colors and exactly where to put them. In 1978, Michèle came to the Leo Marchutz School of Painting and Drawing in Aix-en-Provence and never left. She, of course, married John Gasparach, who was an assistant professor at the Marchutz School at that time. In her own words, at the Marchutz School, Michèle became aware of light, of the structure of the motif. She learned to see the whole, to obtain an infinite palette of colors. She learned the role of values and contrasts, and above all, she learned to see. Michèle is also, as you all will see and hear, is also a playwright, and we are very lucky today to get to hear a reading of part of her play, Madame Cézanne. During the Cézanne retrospective in Aix in 2006, Michèle was captivated by the painting Madame Cézanne in the greenhouse. Back home, she started writing about the painting and eventually transformed the dialogue she created into a play. And we are very fortunate today to have Lauren Sterling, a retired American actress, and David Walker, professor emeritus at the University of Sheffield and a Camus scholar, to read the parts of Corinne and Raymond in a scene from Michèle's play, Madame Cézanne. So with that, I will pass things along to Michèle to give her presentation, and then we will follow up with the reading from her play.
Hello, everybody, and thank you to be here. I just like to start by remembering what it was when I entered the Marchutz School in 1978. I entered in a complete different world where everybody was preoccupied by only one thing, and that was painting, and lots of questions about what do the first painting look like, and what's a good painting, and can we do sensitive reality paintings today? So, and many more questions, and it was really a discovery of an American community through art. So it was two big things for me. And I remember also that the students were moving in packs around, like 12 or 10, and going to their favorite bistro. They were eating raw peanuts, and you had on the bar, on the table, lots of shells, and under the table, lots of shells, and everybody was talking a lot and eating, and looks like they were trying to get all these answers in whatever they could, with their brain, with their eyes and sensation, to answer those fantastic questions about paintings. I thought sometimes they were looking for the answer in the form of the beer, but not all the time. And they were so excited. Then I remember something else really funny. It's that they were all wearing the same perfume, and that was a distinctive trait. And my brother started to call me Terebentine, which was really nice. But when I entered the school, I didn't only discover that you can eat raw peanuts. I discovered that you could see that there is two ways to look at a painting, by looking at the painting or seeing something in the painting. And that was led me to something very interesting now in my painting, because I changed the way I was seeing. So seeing, you know, because you experience it, I'm sure, when you paint, is that you go to the art of the motif, but you are also touched. The motif is touching you in your art, and something strange happens, that you are becoming what you're painting. And this, you can measure it. You can think about color, light, distance, first ground. It's just something happening like this. And after a while, I realized that, well, I was not satisfied, but I will just show you some paintings that I did at this moment, where I was looking a lot in nature and having feeding my painting from nature, from the light, from the colors and everything around. And I was feeding myself and the painting. So I show you some of those paintings. Here is a technician. You know him,
good luck.
probably.
Okay, now I've got to find the share.
I hope he's better than me. Okay.
Oops,
Okay, we have
hold
to
on.
get rid of this now. Can't you do this? Okay, here is the painting I'm doing when
So
I.
Alan, you have to click share screen. We can't see your screen yet.
You can't see it yet?
Not yet.
Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Okay, share.
There we go.
About that. Is that it?
Okay,
Yep,
so I
there we go.
that
Beautiful.
that's you. They see this? No.
Yes.
Yes. No,
They
but
can see
that.
Yep, we
they
can see it now.
Okay, can you? They can see everybody here?
Can you see? Do you just see
Yep.
the painting? Yeah.
Yes, we
you're
can
good.
just see the
Okay,
painting.
so that's a
Perfect.
painting I did 45 years ago. I think that's John's sister. We used to go a lot, once a year for 20 years, maybe, in the States. And that's when I start to be fed by the motif and by the light and by all this ambience, which is really strong and important, try to put it on the canvas. And show the other one.
The next one.
That's at the Chateau Noir, the pine at the Chateau Noir. Here I start being bored with my painting, and I try something else. I try to geometricize the shape and to take one flower for 10 flowers, and it's an almond tree. It's during the spring. Here again, it's the storm with the weeping willow.
Where was that done?
That was done in Aix, in the Parc de la Torse.
After that was.
Yeah. Hop, kloep, kloep.
Uh,
Okay. That's done in Toulon. It's during the rain. It's raining like today here, and you have the port and the big crane, big tree on the left. And I'm still very much looking seeing through nature, the light, the colors. And can you move again? That's in Toulon also. I start seeing different colors. You see on the left, there is a, how do you call this? Cedar tree. And not being that precise. Okay, but after a while, I was really disappointed because I spent lots of time mixing colors, and I was seeing too many colors, and I was losing myself in my painting. The palette became more interesting than the painting itself. So I was exhausted, and I realized that the painting was on the palette and that was over. So it was really hard to keep painting this way. And I decided to change for oil sticks, because whatever I was doing, even if it was good, I arrived at a moment where I was never satisfied with anything. So I thought I need a new challenge, and I took pastel gras, oil sticks. Yeah, and that's around the house, branches and leaves, and that was the first thing I did.
Oh, let's do that. I don't know what's happening. Rose, it's not.
I don't know if she
There are
can.
little controls down on the bottom left. Do you see those on your screen? Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Okay, that's another oil sticks painting. And I try to see more in zones of colors and not anymore in strokes, with strokes, to see how if it changed something. Anyway, that was a really nice challenge for me. Another one. That's the Mûrier platane in front of the house. And again, here I geometrize the shapes. Geometrize, you say this? And I try to don't mix too much color with the oil sticks. Another one, it's hard to stay away from mixing colors, even with oil sticks. That's a crazy one. There are the roses in the garden. If you can see a rose or two, that's good. This one is the one I really like. It's an almond tree with an olive tree and cypresses. And on this one, I decided, because I really didn't want to mix color anymore, I decided all the light will be in yellow and all the shadow will be gray and violet. So the sky had the same color than the flowers. And I think it works. That was a constraint that I really needed to do something else and try to be satisfied. That the same idea, but with more colors. The light is going through the trees in round shapes. It's an olive tree with the flower of lights. The sky is yellow and blue and green. Another geometricized tree where light is coming through round shapes through the branches. Okay, I was missing a lot to mix colors, in fact, and I was and working on paper is very delicate. Paper is very fragile, and after you have to glue it, and it's a big headache, especially when you do things on big format. So I went back to oil, and that's what I did. And I was not yet satisfied, but I have to say that the photo makes the painting much better than what it is. So since I was not satisfied, I started to work more on this painting, and I wanted to see the background on the left more distinctly, and I wanted to work more on zone and not as much on strokes. So I started to paint, not looking at the motif anymore, but trying to paint, put the other one. I started to paint with looking at my painting only and not anymore at the motif. And I like this a lot because for me, it was finding the light inside my painting and don't have the reference in nature. It was good at the beginning. I need to start in nature, but after I need now to just look at my painting and give it its heart, its own color, because if the light carries the color, the reverse, I think, is true. And I try to find the right color when they dialogue together, the light exists. So that's what I'm doing now. So you see, I was not happy with the blue background, so I dared to put the red one because that's what works better with the blue and green of the olive tree. And I didn't want to follow the color of the cypress. And the first ground is much better too. So I needed to add the pink stroke on the right, on the trunk of the olive tree, because suddenly the tree disappeared and the color needed was pink. So I went for pink.
That's the same painting as the
Yeah,
last.
do you want to go back to the, well, okay, as you
Yeah, go back.
go back to just to look at, okay. Okay, I did this one in the same, I did the same thing with this one. It's a tulip tree. It's a, no, not a tulip tree. It's bouquet of tulips. And I was not satisfied with it. Again, it's funny, like the photo makes it much better than what it was. So I changed it and you see how I worked in. Can you? Okay.
Same painting.
The same painting, yeah. And again, I didn't look at the motif. I just look at my painting and trying to find its own light and own drawing too.
Mhm.
Okay, you recognize sunflowers.
Yeah.
And of course, I was not satisfied. And this one looked like too much other sunflowers that we've seen a lot and we know a lot. So I thought, oh, maybe I can do better. than myself. And okay, and I change it to have this.
This is the same paint.
This is the
Same
same
paint.
painting, yeah, yeah. Again, I just work on the looking at the painting, not at nature, because I think I'm losing myself, seeing too many details, too many things. So I need to unify it, and well, I'm more happy with this. Okay, another one who suffered also from a change. And you see that in the back there is the red is the trunk of a tree, and that's what I'm doing. I'm really putting strong colors because I'm very interested in intensity in the painting, and intensity on all the surface of the painting.
Mhm.
Whoops,
Well,
yeah.
That's the second one.
same
That's the
painting.
second one, yeah.
Mm.
Maybe I will work a little bit on this one too.
No, don't.
No, 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 no. Okay, go. Okay, that's the yellow bottle,
Mhm.
and always the same idea of not do. Okay, and there is a third version that you don't have here, which is the final one, but just to show you how it can transform.
Mhm. Beautiful.
Okay, I'm very interested in the relationship between trees, the branches of the trees, what happened between the branches of the trees when they capture a piece of sky, and suddenly it becomes darker, and this relationship is really, trees looks like an antenna going into the sky to get something. That's what I wanted to show. Okay, still with the relationship of the tree and the sky. It's like a print, une empreinte. How do you say? An empreinte. Empreinte of the sky, a print of the sky, or on the sky. And the other one. Okay. This one too changed a lot. Just one of this one, but I saw that I have to stay away from the motif to be satisfied, and to find things like you see those dots in the sky on the right, above on the right, and that I did this because I needed a concentration of blue here, and this concentration of blue is part of the sky, and when you gives a rhythm to the painting. Okay, wow, that's really yellow. It's not as yellow. Okay, that's another really yellow one. Well, I wanted to do this yellow atmosphere. Of course, it was not all yellow like this in nature. The motif was, but that's a parti pris, blue and yellow. Another parti pris is to paint everything, almost everything blue, to show the dawn and it's in Toulon. There is something, I think if I don't, comment tu dis, accuser, if I don't force things, it stays too weak, and to have a real blue atmosphere, I have to really insist on the blue one.
Oops.
Okay. That's okay. I think that's everything I wanted to say.
Okay. So do you want them to ask questions now or wait till after
Yes,
the reading?
no, but I think, what time is it now?
You've got plenty of time.
Okay, we can talk a little if you want.
Do we open it up for questions and comments for Michèle? Does that sound good,
Yes.
Michèle? Okay.
Yes, it's okay. It's okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for showing all these beautiful paintings. I love to see how you've changed things and how you're working through them. Why don't we take a little bit before we do the reading from Michèle's play to ask questions or share comments with Michèle. So you all are muted automatically just to keep the background noise down. So if you want to ask a question, feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself and just shout it out. And if we have a lot of people sort of shouting out at once, I'll help field the different questions.
Yeah, I had a question.
Please, Jennifer.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for sharing, Michèle. I've just always loved your work and just find it so enriching. But I'm wondering about a couple of things. I don't think I saw any when I was at Marchutz. You were constantly working on a motif of trees out in front of the Marchutz property. And I'm wondering if that's still a frequent motif for you. And I'm also wondering what kind of artist that you take inspiration from you, because I see a strong connection to Pierre Bernard, but also in my bias, I also see a connection to Bert Morisot.
To Bert Morisot. Yeah, well, they are, for me, they are very different. Bert Morisot is really working with the light, I think, and Bonnard finds its own light in the painting. But the intensity in Bonnard is something I like a lot. And it's true that for a long time, I didn't want to look at Bonnard's painting because I didn't want to be influenced by Bonnard. Then one day I thought, well, I'm drawn by intense color, and that's what I want to do. So forget all this and do what you want to do. So you're right. There is something of Bonnard, probably. And I don't care now. It's okay. It's the way it is. It's not a problem for me. It's really hard, you know it, to do a painting that you are happy with. So if I have to avoid what I like to do, it makes it much more complicated. It's okay.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
Do you understand my English? Because I'm afraid it's not that good.
your English is great, Michèle.
Okay. Yeah.
It's wonderful. I do appreciate your specific vision, even while seeing influence of other artists.
Yeah, no, yeah, but you know, sincerely, it was a problem for me for a long time. Then I decided, well, forget it. It's the way it is. Voila. But thank you for this. Thanks.
I see a question here in the chat that I'm going to read to you, Michèle, from Karen Blood. She said she was taken with Michèle's sister-in-law's portrait. And have you done other portraits recently, or in your work as an artist? Have you done other portraits?
No, I've done other portraits, but I'm not satisfied with. So there is a big problem with me, is that I'm easily bored by my own painting. So I try to find other ways to paint or other challenge. And I don't know, there is a very strong relationship. It was a strong relationship with John's sister, because we lived with John's parents for a month every year, and I learned to know her, and it was like it was beautiful to paint her, but it's really hard for me to do a painting from somebody like this that I don't know as much as
Mm.
I knew Judith.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's really her. She was a great person.
Lovely. Other questions for Michèle? Just a reminder, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have a question.
Thanks, Ben.
So Michèle, you know, I'm a huge fan. And one of the things that was very interesting to hear you talk about is as you began to move away from having the motif or nature dictate the painting, you began to make choices about how you wanted the color to be. You would actually choose the color palette that you wanted. And I was wondering what happened. What do you do when you make that choice? You understand the question?
How I no, I don't really understand the question. How do you do? Comment je fais, c'est ça? How do I do? Well, I just arrived to a point where I'm so frustrated that I decide that I look at the painting and ask myself, it's really simple. What goes? What is the complementary color? That's what you learn at the school. You know, the Marchutz school. What is the complementary color of this blue green color? And I thought, there is one color I didn't try, it's the red. So why not? Where I'm at this point, why not? And the first ground, if you see, change a lot too, and is more consistent, and is more, has more presence. And that's what I wanted. I didn't want my painting to fade in certain places. So I just thought the light, what's important is the intensity and this of the color, and since the color carries the light, because I think it's both sides, it goes on both sides. There is a colored light, but the color contains its own light too. And like I said, if they have the right dialogues between themselves, who care that the cypress are red or green? What I was looking for is that this cypress will go perfectly with as close as this to the color of the tree. And I told you the first one appeared really easily at this time.
Okay.
The first one you
So-
see here is weak. I think the first one is really weak. But something else happened, which is great. It's that when I did this, I freed myself from so-called perfection or loyalty to the model. And I went away from this to find something, to find an identity to the painting itself, and not a reference to outside the painting. Is that clear?
Yes.
That is, did I answer your question?
Yeah, in a way that I have 100 other questions that go from it, but it's it stimulates me to think about what it means to question a painting to see where it is weak, and then what it means to hunt for a solution. Right?
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I.
the solution wasn't there. It wasn't obvious. You had to go looking for a solution that would change something you perceived as a weakness. So it's a very particular way of thinking and approaching what you're doing.
Yes, yeah. You know, I spent many years being mostly unhappy with what I was doing, and I didn't want to quit painting, so I had to find something and just take the problem by another angle. Was satisfying. And maybe the second version maybe not please people. I mean, I'm not mean saying this. Will not people will not find it nice, but I think it has a reality in itself.
That's good.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Michelle, this is Bro Adams. If I could just comment or continue Ben's line of thinking just a little bit.
Yeah.
I was struck, like Ben, about this, you know, your comment on painting from nature and then moving away from that notion to taking the commands or the following the imperative of the painting itself. What I find so striking in your painting is that gap, and it's in the movement toward what the painting demands that I find so striking in the images. It's the color, it's the forms. So it's almost the distance, the distance from nature that makes me pay attention to the painting in a way that I don't think I would otherwise. So I don't know if this is making sense, but I take Ben's point that it's in that movement. I think that your painting becomes, for me, just in terms of what I like looking at or what I find compelling to look at. It's in that movement that you make toward what the painting demands that I find so compelling. And I hadn't thought about it in that way until you gave me the words to think about it that way. But so I'm not asking a question. I'm just saying that my own reactions to your painting follows that écart, I guess in French. That separation is very powerful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it took me just only 45 years, and I'm happy I'm finally here.
It's okay. It happened.
It happens, yeah, yeah. No, but
For
it's
good.
kind of.
Thank you for that.
Hello, Michelle.
Yes,
You hear me?
yes, I hear you, Isaline. That's my
Yes,
French.
je ne parle pas bien anglais, mais peut-être que Alan pourra me traduire.
Yeah.
It's not a question, mais simplement une remarque que je voulais faire. Je connais Michèle depuis plusieurs dizaines d'années. Elle est très discrète, extrêmement attentive et elle ne se met jamais en avant. Mais quand j'ai vu ses œuvres, quand j'ai vu ses tableaux pour la première fois, j'ai vraiment senti l'énergie, la force intérieure, le rythme qui était à l'opposé de ce qu'elle donne à voir. et sa peinture est d'une force incroyable dans l'énergie, le dynamisme qui en ressort. Voilà. Alors, je ne sais pas si vous pouvez me suivre. Voilà, voilà une peinture énergique. Je ne sais pas si vous la voyez. Non,
Yeah.
je ne sais pas si vous la
It's hard to translate, but really, I think Isaline's talking about
voyez. Voilà.
Michelle's doesn't put herself forward and is very unassuming in her social way that she presents herself. And then you see her incredible paintings and you see this dynamic and this energy that comes from within the paintings. And it's very striking that energy, that interior energy that doesn't totally show itself when you're just sitting around talking, because she's so unassuming and sweet. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's too much.
I mean,
You know,
Est-ce
yeah, finish.
est-ce que tu es d'accord, Alan?
mais oui,
Bon,
absolument.
on ne peut pas voir la force des iris par derrière, mais voilà, j'ai peut-être pas un bon ordinateur. Et puis,
Non, on peut pas te voir. On peut pas te voir.
je ne peux pas voir les iris par
Non,
derrière.
non.
Ah, tant pis. Et puis le ciel papillon et le faux bonnard. Bon,
But
merci.
I wanted to say, okay, thank you, Isaline. Thanks. I wanted to say to add something because I think with this new other way to paint, just looking a lot into my paintings to find its own heart, its own light, and sometimes its own drawing. I had the feeling that to paint is like building something. You build. A painting is a land to build, and that gives lots of joy. I'm going back to the joy of the little girl I was when I was 9 years old, and I grew up. This little girl grew up at the Marchutz school, and I think I'm really close to the school when I'm looking to balance all those strong colors. That's what I wanted to say, to add. Anyway, thank you. Do you have more question or?
I have a question, Michèle.
Yeah.
You were talking about how years ago you were getting frustrated with mixing your colors and mixing up a whole palette, and then finding that your palette of colors was more interesting than the painting itself. So you switched
Yeah.
away for a while to oil pastels, and
Yeah.
now you're back working in oils. And
Yes.
how has your mixing of your palette, or how does your process work now? How do you go about mixing your palette before you paint, or while you're making your painting? What does that color mixing process look like for you now?
Wow. That's a hard question.
That's a secret.
No,
That's a trade
it's not-
secret.
I don't have for this. I don't mix as many colors, in fact, and the color calls for each other's. When I don't know, I take lots of time now looking at a painting rather than spending lots of time doing colors. So I do the color when I see something. I don't prepare them before. I do some colors, then I look a lot at my painting. So it's different. It's a different way to do, but I'm not sure there is a rule. Maybe the rule is that it's good for you. What's good for you, yeah, that's okay. That's all.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Maybe
Other questions or comments for Michèle?
I have a quick question. This is Patricia, and the last time that I saw Michèle actually painting was almost 10 years ago. And she was making an enormous blue painting of trees, but when I saw it, it was in her living room. So I had to look through the window to see this enormous painting in progress. And it really struck me that the painting was developing itself regardless of the circumstances not being optimal. To stand back, you had to go outside of the house and look through the window. So I guess I'm wondering now, I mean, it just delighted me so much. And I'm wondering now how changing scale as well as changing from oil to pastel to back to oil painting, whether changing in scale also made you, Michèle, find the joy of being the young girl painting in a free way.
Yes, the big scale, the big format is a real joy, but it's a real headache too. and I mean, it's in the joy. It's not in the intensity of colors that thing changed. The difficulty with a big format is to keep the drawing and to take a big brush, because when you keep the same brush, you have a problem of to cover the surface, and really you really have to adjust everything. And this big painting, I think I see which one it is, and I sold it not so long ago to John's cousin. I sent it to the States, and the painting itself changed a lot also. I was not aware of what, it was not that clear what I wanted. I was going there, but nothing was clear at this time in terms of the colors and not looking at the motif and all this.
Thanks.
Thank you, Patricia.
Other questions or comments for Michèle? As a reminder, you just have to unmute yourself if you're trying to.
Hi, Michèle.
Hi, Paula.
Hello. Michèle, I have one of your blue tree paintings, and I look at it all the time. It's just changed location, and I noticed that in this painting, there's a path away from a path out of it in the lower right-hand corner. You can walk past the foreground and into the painting. Do you remember that about this painting? It's something I just discovered after looking at your painting for years.
Which painting is that? Is that the one I see?
It is this painting.
I can't see it. I can't see it. It's not. I don't know. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I don't know if we can.
I think.
Oh yeah. I remember.
Here, let me see if I can make it
big.
There you go.
And in the lower corner, right there, is a figure with a path away.
Yeah, it was away. Hi, Paula.
Hi.
What's your name now? What's your name? Madame?
Oh, Madame, yes. But still McHugh till I change.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it
the
was bad,
painting
but
changes.
yes, drawings, different drawing appear, but I remember this painting. I remember that I made a path. I don't know if it was there.
Well, I'm honored to have it and to keep looking into it and finding new things.
Okay. Okay, yeah, there is always new things. And that's something great with painting is that there is no end in discovering uh, um, how you can paint. Not only discovering something in the painting, but discovering in the way you paint. New way to paint. That's fantastic. Hi,
I have a
Sharon.
question in the chat from Estelle Roger Fix, and it says,
Yeah.
Michelle, have you always covered the entire surface of the canvas, or have you ever left white on your surface?
No, now I cover the whole surface. That's what I'm doing those days because in the search of intensity, uh, I need to do this. But that may not be definitive. It can change one day when I be bored with this, I do something else. No, I have to explore a lot more with the color now. And but really it can change. There is no
Beautiful.
rules.
Wonderful. Well, should we move on to the, if there's
Oh
not
yes,
any last questions or comments, should we do the reading from the play?
yeah, that would be great.
Wonderful.
Suzanne, okay.
Oops. Uh-oh.
I think it's all the way at the end, right, Alan? There you go.
Yes, but I lost. What happened? I lost my screen. Where is it?
We can see your screen. We can see your desktop.
I know, but I can't. I'm trying to figure out.
Oh.
No.
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties. Are you trying to open the PowerPoint back up? You're on mute now, Alan.
Okay, now,
There you go. Now we can hear you.
okay.
Are we sharing my desktop now?
Yes.
So what we want to do is to have just Lauren and David
Mm-hmm.
and to turn off all the camera and the microphones.
Great. So everyone can stop their
And
own
then,
video.
yeah, I'm going to present you my two friends, our two friends, David and Lauren.
Wonderful.
Okay, so Lauren Sterling is a retired American actress who plays, she's going to play Corinne in the play. Lauren worked professionally in theater, television, film as both a performer and a producer. David Walker is Professor Emerit at Sheffield, England, specialist of Camus, Gide, editor of Genet and Camus plays, play translator, writer, and of course, actor. They are very nice and they're going to read this, the first scene of a play I wrote 15 years ago. So the scene takes place in a museum where a woman comes every day to see the same painting, We just see her back. We never see her face or hear her voice, but she's the one who opens Corinne's eyes. Corinne is a painter who has managed to get herself hired as a guard and takes advantage of this opportunity to contemplate Cézanne's painting. Raymond has long been a guard at the museum and is vexed by Corinne's lack of consideration for him. Corinne has an obvious admiration for the strange woman who looks only at one painting, Madame Cézanne dans la serre. So now I leave you with Lauren and David. Thank you. Turn off all the. Can you turn off all the camera? That like this we can. Okay. Can you turn off? Yeah.
If we can have David, if we could split screen with David and me, that would be great.
Yeah, let's see if we can do that.
The magic.
You would think. After all
There's
this
one of
time
us.
consumed. There's you. Add spotlight. There we go.
Voila.
Voila.
There we are. Well, we can go then, huh? So, you're a painter. What do you paint? If you paint as much as you talk, there won't be much on your canvas. Mind you, some people don't put much on. Have you been painting for long? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
I see she's back again.
Obviously.
3 days looking at the same painting.
She's not looking.
So what's she doing stuck in front of Madame Cézanne if she's not looking?
She sees. She can see. And the more she looks, the more she sees.
Ah. But she seems to be getting to you, huh? After all, she's only doing what we let them come in for, to look.
I'm telling you, she isn't looking, she's seeing. And she sees more.
What's so funny about that? She's only got 2 eyes. She's got no extras. I can see too. I stand in front of it. I look and I can see.
You see. But what do you see? You see what everybody sees.
Well, me and the rest of us, we see a woman sitting down.
Oh, so she comes here every day just to see a woman sitting down, huh?
Maybe she likes that. Maybe it reminds her of someone. Anyway, what are you getting worked up for? I don't spend time looking at this painting, and I'll tell you why. It's because she's not beautiful. She doesn't smile. She's posed like a vase that's been left on a chair.
Not beautiful? A vase? A vase. And what do you know about beauty? You only see what's blindingly obvious.
Now, look, I'm only trying to make the point that
What?
it doesn't even look like
I've
she's
had
there.
enough. I've heard enough.
Read what it says on the wall. It says, that's his wife. And I'm telling you, it's not a psychological portrait, it's just his wife.
What on earth do you know about psychology?
I know what I know, and she's not beautiful. Now then,
So you can tell what beauty is? There's something indefinable about Hortense. She has Je ne sais quoi. That's not something you can acquire, but is in you.
Hortense, if you can't say what it is, then
Well, then what?
Hortense doesn't even have that je ne sais quoi.
Raymond, would you just leave me alone?
And I remind you that we're closing. Here, go tell her. So what did she say?
She'll be back tomorrow.
She's going to wear out that painting. What are you doing?
I'm looking.
You've already looked at it.
Yes, I've looked at it. Now I want to see it the way she sees it.
Crying out loud. Don't say you're going to start too.
I'm sure there is something.
Or you'll end up ruining your eyes, and there'll always be the same woman sitting there with a tree, some flowers, and blanks everywhere. You know he
No.
didn't finish it. And it's not the only one.
Not finished. Blanks everywhere. What are you talking about?
You know, this empty space. That's the canvas.
It's not empty.
And what are they?
Just look at the painting instead of talking. Look the way she does. Look, she hardly moves. She says nothing, and she meanders with her eyes.
She hardly moves. She meanders. What the?
You know, when one looks at it that way, I think
Here we go again. What do you think?
she's inside.
She's inside. Inside what?
Inside the painting. Her eyes take her into it.
Oh, come on. What are you talking about? Her eyes take her into it. Corinne, are you all right? You should get some time off. Have some rest. All these people, they've turned your head.
You don't understand anything.
I understand what I understand. You can't get into a painting, and even with your eyes, you look at it, and above all, you don't touch it. Take her into it. Go on, tell me, are you inside it?
Let me look.
What can you see?
I hear a silence that fills the air when the music stops.
It's a painting, not an orchestra. Come on. A day's rest will do you good. You're all in.
And you're deaf and blind.
And you're crazy. You've been on your feet too long, and now you're standing on your head. You hear with your eyes, you see things which aren't there, you get inside the picture.
I am not crazy, I'm telling you. She just sees things differently than we do, that's all. But if you can't see it, then I don't know.
And tell me, what is she doing in the picture?
She's not visiting. She's settling in.
Settling in. And how many women do you see in the picture?
Oh no, Raymond. It's not as if she's there in the painting.
You're doing this deliberately. Is she or is she not inside the painting?
You don't understand.
I don't understand her, so I'm stupid, am I, madame?
No, it's not like that. It's just you can either see it or you can't. Scene.
Fade to black.
Thank you both so much. Oh, I wish we could do a big round of applause for you all, but Zoom makes it hard. Bravo.
Bravo.
Oh, bravo.
Bravo.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh my God, that was so
Thank
good.
you,
Thank you so much.
Lauren.
Great.
Thank you, David. It was great. One day maybe
Oh,
we can
lovely.
do the whole thing.
Avec plaisir. Oui.
Oui, avec plaisir. Oh, thank you. I'm going to look for a place where to give it. Now that this big evening is behind me, I can take time to look for a nice place. Thanks a lot again, and thank to everybody.
Thank
And
you, Michèle.
I would like to add something, is that we have a new book on Cézanne, and it's William Adams, who is, it happens to be Lauren's husband. Yes. And he wrote a book with a Frenchman, a French writer, Thierry Mogenès, and the title of the book is Cézanne à Château Noir. If you're interested in Cézanne, reading something new, the edition is from Hervé Chopin, but you remember the title, Cézanne à Château Noir. Voilà.
That's great.
Wonderful. And I can send a link to more information about the book in my follow-up email to everybody
Yeah.
after this talk too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rose.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Michèle, for sharing all your work and taking the time to put together the presentation. This was so wonderful. And thank you to all of you out there in the Zoom world for joining us. It's so fun to see so many familiar faces and some new ones too. So thank you for taking the time to join on this Tuesday morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are. A big round of applause for Michèle and for Lauren and David as well for their performances. Thank you, everybody. And I will follow up
Thank you,
with a
Michèle.
recording.
Bye.
Thank you. It was a
Bonsoir.
nice.
Bonsoir.
Good to see everyone.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir.
Thank you,
Bonsoir.
everyone.
Merci, hein.
Bye.
Mhm.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.